Hi, my name is Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about why it's important to give. Regardless of what you have, give it away. Now I don't quite mean give everything away, but I'm trying to make a point here. You should be giving away. Give to charity. Give to a good cause. Help others, even if you feel like you don't have enough. Now the reason you should be doing this is because it will really give yourself something back. So, if you are giving away something, then you must have enough. It's not possible to give away something you don't have. So, if you're giving it away, you must have it. Now, as well as you must have it, you must have enough of it to give away. Now, you might not have enough to give away in your point of view, but the fact that you gave it away meant you did have enough to give away. And so it changes your subconscious mind. Now this is the very important part, the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind works in mysterious ways and it can achieve things that you can not imagine will happen. It manifests things in the background without you imagining it's possible. So once you start living in a way where you have more than enough, living in abundance as they call it, you feel like you've got more than you need, then you start getting it. There was this story, now I can't remember exactly who it was, so I'm not going to mention because I'm not sure exactly which person it was, but there was this story about this person who was quite famous, or they've got a big industry now, and it's one of two people, and I can't exactly pinpoint which one it was, so I don't want to reference the wrong person. But if you know, comment below and then we can at least express it to everyone else. So, the person, what they did is they had hardly any money. Now this person who had hardly any money, they were struggling to survive, they were struggling to pay their rent, and their rent was due soon. They had about a week for their rent due, and they had $13 in their pocket. $13, that's all they had. And they went down to this meal, to go and get a meal. They went down to the harbour and they walked, I think it was 2 miles, they walked down there, and they went to get a meal. They had about $19, and they went and got their meal, and they had $13 after their meal. And when they were sitting down eating their meal outside a restaurant, then they saw this child, young boy, walking in with their mother. And the child was all suited and booted, you know, dressed all smart, as if he was a business person. And he was walking in, he's holding the door open for this lady, and he walked and he sat down, and he was being very polite and honouring the person. Now, this person who I'm talking about had this $13, and they saw this, and it was their last $13. They didn't have enough money for rent, they didn't have enough money for bills, they didn't have a job, and they didn't know where they were going to get money from. I believe they were running their own business and they weren't getting an income at the time. So, what did they do? They took the $13 out their pocket, they walked in and they put it on the table and said, "Here, pay for your mother's meal with this." That was the last money they had, but they gave it away. And within a week, I believe it was a Saturday, and on the Monday morning, they got a check in the post for $1,000. This was enough to pay their rent, and it was enough to keep their bills running for a few days, I think a couple of weeks. So they had enough. Now they didn't know they were going to get this check. This check was from someone who owed them money for a very long time, and eventually they got it back through this check, but they'd already been asking for about 3 years to get this money back, and this person knew they had no money, and they had been asking for the last 3 months because they were struggling, but this person didn't give it to them. But on this day, after they gave the money away, the person must have written a check and put it in the post because it came in a letterbox. And this just shows the power of giving away. Now yes, this might have been a coincidence and they were owed money, but it was 3 years they were owed money, and for 3 months they weren't given the money, even though they knew that they were in need. So it wasn't a case of, oh, they're in need, I'm going to pay them now. No, it wasn't. And the thing is that once you start giving to charity, it might be 50p, it might be £1, it might be £10 a month, it could be anything. But once you start giving to charity, you'll be giving because you've got enough. And once you start giving, then your subconscious mind will say, well, I've got something to give. I can give and give and give. That means I must have enough. And if you've got enough, then not only will you multiply what you have, but you will be given more, because the universe will say, hang on, this person is a generous person. Generous people deserve to get something. So the universe will give you more. So you have more to give. And as you start giving and you receive more and you give more and you receive more and you give more, you'll notice that your income increases. So even though you started giving, and it might not be straight away, but you start giving, then you'll start receiving more. Your income will increase in various ways. This happened to me. I started giving to charity, and before I knew it, I started getting more work and more income. Now, it's not only when you work in income, but another person said they were starting up a business, and they had no idea how they were going to pay the bills. It was a brand new business, and they said, I'm going to pledge to give 10% of everything I earn, not profits, everything I earn to charity. Now, they had expenses. They didn't know how they were even going to pay their expenses when they said this. And think about it. If their expenses were £5,000 a year, and they were saying, well, I'm going to give away 10% of everything I earn, they need to earn £5,550 a year, just over, so £5,600 a year, call it, for them to actually be able to give 10% of everything they earn away, and for them to be able to cover their costs. So they were going to give £500-600 away, even though they couldn't even pay their bills for the business, let alone have money to eat and clothe themselves and pay the bills. But they had pledged to do this. And they pledged to do this, and that meant that in the first month, not only did they actually make their sales, they made 3 times what they needed to live and their bills. So they tripled what they needed to have their outgoings. And that was because they started to give to charity. The month before, which was their actual first month in operation, they made a loss. But they said, you know what, I'm going to start giving. And so they did. This is why you should always give more than you receive. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, whack the bell notification icon to get notified of videos coming out each and every week.